विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्रीमद His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, BBT founder Acharya, savior of the whole world Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय. नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय. पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगामय यमुनमय की जय. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. पतित पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय. श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकानाथ की जय. श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय. श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 8, Manifestation of Brahma from Vishnu, text 23. Since this text doesn't have purport, we'll recite together 24th. I'll just recite this myself. Murnala gaurayata shesha bhogam paryanka ekam purusham shayanam fanata patra yutamurdharatnam dhubhir hatadhvan tayuganti toye. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Brahma could see that on the water there was gigantic lotus-like white bedstead, the body of Sheshanag, on which the personality of Godhead was laying alone. The whole atmosphere was illuminated by the rays of the jewels bedecking the food of Sheshanag, and that illumination dissipated all the darkness of those regions. Text 24. Preksham shipantam harito paladrehe sandhya brneverurukpramurdhaha praniverurukmamurd Ratno dadharo shadiso manasya Vanasrajo venu bhujang gripangriyaha Preksham kshipantam harito paladrehe सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः रत्नो दधारौषधिसो मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रे प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः रत्नो दधारौषधिसो मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपिङ्ग्रे प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः रत्नो दधारो सदिशो मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रे प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः रत्नो दधारोषधिसो मनस्य रत्नस्तजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रेः वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रेः प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः रत्नो दधारौषधिसो मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रे वैष्णवी प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः रत्नो दधारोषधिसो मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रेः वैष्णवीस् प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः रत्नो दधारोषधिसो मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रेः प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनीवेरुरुक्ममूर्ध्नः दधारोषधिसो मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणुभुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रेः प्रेक्षां the panorama. Kshipantam deriding. Harita green. Upala coral. Adrehe of the hell. Sandhya abhra niveha of the dress of the evening sky. Uru great. Urukma gold. Murdnaha on the summit. Ratna jewels. Udara waterfalls. Aushadhi herbs. Soumyanasya of the scenery. Vanasrajaha flower garland. Venu dress. Bhuja hands. Angripa trees. Angryaha legs. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The luster of the transcendental body of the Lord mocked the beauty of the coral mountain. The coral mountain is very beautifully dressed by the evening sky, but the yellow dress of the Lord mocked its beauty. There is gold on the summit of the mountain, but the Lord's helmet, bedecked with the jewels, mocked it. The mountain's waterfalls, herbs, etc., with a panorama of flowers, seem like garlands, but the Lord's gigantic body and his hands and legs, decorated with jewels, pearls, tulasi leaves, and flower garlands, mocked the scene on the mountain. Purport. The panoramic beauty of nature, which strikes one with wonder, may be taken as a perverted reflection of the transcendental body of the Lord. One who is therefore attracted by the beauty of the Lord is no longer attracted by the beauty of material nature, although he does not minimize its beauty. In Bhagavad Gita 2.59, it is described that one who is attracted by Param, the Supreme, is no longer attracted by anything inferior. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Rugunathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. I seek blessings for all devotees so that I can speak something glorifying Lord for all of your pleasure. and for my purification. So we are seeing Maitreya is describing to Vidura about manifestation of Lord Brahma, and in last few verses we saw Brahmaji, he tried to find the origin of the lotus, but he could not. So then he came up, started meditating, and now he is seeing the beautiful darshan of Lord Garbhodakshai Vishnu for the first time. So in today we'll discuss three things. First, how hearing these descriptions about Lord are important. Second, how these descriptions defy the impersonalistic conceptions. And third, we'll discuss about beauty of Lord Krishna, because it started discussing beauty of Mahavishnu, Lord Mahavishnu, right? So from now onward till end of the chapter, it's all about description about Lord Mahavishnu. So the first point, why we need to hear. The hearing is important because proper oral reception leads to proper sense perception. For example, if I don't hear about Krishna and I come to take darshan, I see somebody standing there. So the question comes, why this fellow is standing in bending form? Why cannot he stand straight? Why these guys are raising their arms? Why that person's eyes are so big? So if one doesn't hear properly about Lord, then what happens? What we see with our senses, the sense perception doesn't lead to proper conclusions. But when we hear about Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, standing in threefold bending form, and then when we come, Venum Kanantamaravinda Dalayataksham, we can then relate. So proper hearing leads to proper sense perception, which leads to devotional contemplation. Then we can contemplate nicely on the form of Lord, on its pastimes. And if we don't do that, then it leads to mental speculation. Because we have not heard, we'll try to figure it out ourselves. So that is like mental speculation, right? So therefore hearing is very important. And from this verse actually, how it defies the impersonalistic understanding. Like in India, there had been a great, some other preachers, they specifically from this following Islamic faith, they used to debate, your Vedas also say that Lord has no form, so why you are worshipping? But because the so-called Hindus, they don't study scriptures, they cannot quote these verses. They clearly tell Lord has a form, and not only form, they zoom in and describe in great detail how the Lord looks like. Like in this verse, we are seeing Brahmaji is describing this beauty of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So he is comparing it with the mountain of coral. So coral is basically emerald, So says that it's so beautiful. Now first it's like in English grammar there are these what they call it, similes and metaphors, right? So this is kind of to tell somebody, see you are as tall as a tall tree, so kind of comparing it with, because the tall tree is considered very tall, so they are comparing. So same way the beauty of Lord is compared with the mountain. Now just imagine, there's a big mountain of emerald, and it is dressed in the it says, by the evening sky, because in evening sky, if we go to Venus beach, we see it's like, yellowish. So the Lord's body is compared to this mountain, and the Lord's pitambar is compared to the evening sky. So sometimes actually, once His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj was giving class about the prostitute, coming and luring Haridas Thakur. And then he was describing the description of, this prostitute, how beautiful she was and how, transparent clothes she were wearing, and, the atmosphere, was so soothing. And then he said, can you imagine? And then immediately he said, don't imagine, So we should know what to imagine, what not to imagine. So here we can imagine actually how Lord's body is compared with that of a mountain of coral or emerald. And then the mountain has a gold on the top, like while going to, like, Big Bear or anything, we see the mountains with a white snow sometimes, right? So same way, this mountain has a gold on top. So that's compared to the Lord's helmet is defying the beauty of that gold. Because it's bedecked with jewels, and it's mocking that beauty. And then the waterfalls and herbs, it's very beautiful. Like, people go to all this national park, right? Yellowstone and Yosemite and whatnot, right? And they are just, wow, such a beauty, This point, that point. And what they all see? Big mountains, waterfalls, nice trees. In essence, that's what they see, right? But what here it is saying that all that is like the garland on the mountain, but that beauty was getting defied by the Lord's jewels and the garland of flowers and a tulsi leaf. Just imagine, like, in case, sometimes devotees also, they go, to this national parks, then we can compare. Actually, this is perverted reflection, as Prabhupada is saying in the from the transcendental body of, Lord. And he said this garland of tulsi and the forest flower, it mocked the scene on the mountain. So you see that tulsi garland is, so dear to Lord. So this particular vision by Brahma gives us the details of the form of Lord, which what is like, what is the effect of taking darshan of Lord? It says in again, Bhagavatam, during the Rudra Gita, it says that, my dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that your very dear devotees worship. You have many other forms, but I wish to see your form that is specially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful unto me and show me that form. So now the effect. What is the effect of darshan? For only that form worshipped by the devotees can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses. So what is the effect of taking such darshan? All our senses get satisfied completely. Lord is called as Govinda, right? One who gives pleasure to senses. So this is very nice meditation, like, from this verse onward. So we saw, like, why hearing is important. Then we saw how the Vedas in detail, they tell about the personality of God, which defies the impersonal conception. And then the result of seeing or meditating is such form is that it satisfies all the demands of, all hankering senses. So then the next point is, we'll dwell some more on beauty of Lord. So here in this verse, it's mentioned that Lord has this tulsi garland, right? So there's another verse from third canto. It says, Mandara kunda kurabotpala champakaranam punnaganaga bakulam bhujaparijata gandherchite tulasika bharanena tasya yasmin tapassu manaso bahumanayanti. Although flowering plants like that of a mandar, kunda, kurubaka, utpala, champaka, arana, punanga, nagakeshara, bakula, lily, and parijata, all these are like beautiful. There are like this. Some of these flowers, you put one flower near Lord's lotus feet. You enter the temple room and you can get that fragrance. They are so fragrant. But what it says, they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulsi, for Tulsi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. This is the glory of Tulsi Maharani also in this verse as it is described. So, as this Prabhupada is also saying that Lord's beauty, it kind of mocks the beauty, any beauty in this world, because that's the original beauty, and rest of the things in this world are the perverted reflection. So there is another nice verse from Rudra Gita which describes Lord's beauty. Snigdha pravrughanashyamam sarva saundarya sangram charvatyata chaturbahu sujata ruchirananam padmakoshapalaksham sundarabhrum sunasikam sudvijjam sukapolasyam sukakarna vibhusham. The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily feature also glistens. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petal. Please try to imagine. You can close your eyes and imagine, but don't fall asleep. So the Lord has 4 arms and exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petal, beautiful highly raised nose, mind-attracting smile, and a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. So that is description again, like of Lord's beautiful form. Another verse, this is when ladies of Mathura. Actually, before that there is another verse. It talks in first canto about again Lord's beautiful form. Shreyo nivaso yasserapan patram mukhadrusham bahavo lokapalanam sarangranam padambujam. So in this verse it says, the Lord's chest is abode of the goddess of fortune. His moon-like face is the drinking vessel for the eyes, which hanker after all that is beautiful. So the comparison is, if you want to drink something, you need a pitcher or a glass, right? So Lord's face, moon-like face, is compared to the drinking vessel, and what it has, that vessel? Lord's beauty. And by just taking darshan about Lord's beautiful face, we can satisfy all the senses. So that is the beauty of Lord. And if we go further, when there was this Krishna and Balaram, they were fighting with Chanura and Mushtik. When they entered the arena, the ladies of Mathura, when they saw Krishna and Balaram, They were so mesmerized by their beauty, and they sing this beautiful prayer. They say that Gopyastapah kiracharanyadamusharupam lavanyasara samo lavanyasara asamordhvamananyasidhvam dugdbhih pibantu nusavani vabhinavam durapam ekanta dhama yashasah shriya aishwarasya. So these ladies, they are glorifying the fortune of these gopis. And what they are saying? What austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes, they always drink the nectar of Lord Krishna's form, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equaled or surpassed. That form is the only abode of beauty, fame, and opulence. It is self-perfect, ever fresh, and extremely rare. So, the beauty of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, basically it comes from Lord Krishna's beauty itself. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrut, there is a discussion between Sanatan Goswami and Lord Chaitanya, wherein Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing the glories of Krishna's form. So, of course, the Krishna's whole form is, beautiful, there is no doubt. But within the form, the most beautiful is lotus face, right? The lotus face, moon-like face. And even within that lotus face, what is most beautiful is Krishna's smile. There are two very beautiful verses Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sings. He says, Krishnanga lavanya pura madhura haite sumadhura tate yei mukha sudhakara madhura haite sumadhura taha haite sumadhura tara yei smita josna bhara. Krishna's body is a city of attractive features. Lord Chaitanya is comparing to its city, like LA has a most visited spot, right? Trip Advisor. And our Bhagavad Gita Museum also comes on top list. Bhagavad Gita Museum, Venus Beach, Hollywood, this, that, right? So, Krishna's body is like that, a city of, but what? Attractive features. And is sweeter than sweet. His face, which is like the moon, is sweeter still. And the supremely sweet, gentle smile on that moon-like face is like the rays of moonshine. He further continues, Lord Chaitanya, describing the glory of Krishna's smile. Madhur haite sumadhura, taha haite sumadhura, taha haite ati sumadhura. Apanara ekakane, vyape sab tribhuvane, dasadike vyape yara pura. The beauty of Krishna's smile is the sweetest feature of all. His smile is like a full moon that spreads its rays throughout the three worlds. Golok Vrindavan, the spiritual sky of Vaikunthas, and the Devi Dham, the material world. Thus Krishna's shining beauty spreads in all 10 directions. So, this Krishna's face is so enchanting that gopis, they did not wanted even to blink their eyes. And they even cursed the same Brahmaji who is describing this beauty. They say, he doesn't know how to create, because they have created these eyelids which keep flipping and which distract our darshan of Lord. This again in Gopi Gita, there is a beautiful verse. It says, Atati adbhavan annikananam truti yugayate tvam apashyatam kutila kuntalam shri mukham chate jada udhikshatam pakshma mukhrudrusham. When you go off to the forest during the day, a tiny fraction of the second becomes like a millennium for us, because we cannot see you. And even when we can eagerly look upon your beautiful face, so lovely with its adornment of curly locks. Our pleasure is hindered by our eyelids, which were fashioned by the foolish creator. So that is the, what do you say, feedback, by gopis to Lord Brahma. It's pretty heavy, right? So this is the, there are so many actually, there are the whole Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with glories about Krishna's beauty. So we'll end with this verse. Again, this comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a very famous verse. Prabhupada quoted it many times. Even in Science of Self-Realization, Prabhupada mentions this verse. Shreman bhangitraya prachitim sachi vishchitran drishan vamshi nyastadra kishlayam ujvalam chandra kena govindakhyam haritanum itikeshi tirthopakanthe ma prekshisthatvayadi sakhe bandhu sange stirangah. My dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamuna at Keshi Ghat. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute on his lips, which seem like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in three places, appears very bright in the moonlight. So this is again describing Krishna's threefold bending form, playing on a flute on Keshi Ghat. So he's saying that if you are attached to your family, don't even look in that direction. Because what will happen? Once you look there, finished. What? Your material life. Because you will get madly attracted. So this is the beauty of Krishna's smiling face. So let's pray that may we all increase our attraction towards this beautiful face. Kartik is coming. This could be a nice meditation wherein we can by heart these verses describing glories of Lord Krishna's beauty. So we'd like to end here. Any questions, comments? Okay. Okay. Yeah, actually, that's the purport, but he's putting in a way where, I don't know in English grammar what they call that particular figure of this thing they are using, the ornament of language they are using. Okay. Jai Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai, Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Thai Gaur Premanande.
प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिगोधन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, नववीत भक्तवृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू दैट मल्ली, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू दैट मल्ली, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू दैट मल्ली। थैंक यू वेरी मच। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरश्याम्बोधे पादाम्भोजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनयाय साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दनाम्ने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय कृपानुगवायते गौरयाभिर्भावभूतस्थं निर्देशा सज्जना प्रिया वैष्णवा सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्यनामिने गौरकृष्णे नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णम् भक्तरूपासरूपकम् भक्त्यावतारं भक्त्याख्यं नमामि कृष्णस्वरूपकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विभवानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहा राधा श्री गोविंद देव प्रज्ञाली से पुमान स्मरामि श्रीमान रासरसारंभी बंशीवट तटस्थितः करषण वेणु गोपीनाथ हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे हरे
Madhashikshana Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Madhashikshana Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur-Bhaktavinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur-Bhaktavinda